Greetings, fellow Watford fans. Omar here, and I hope you are well. Whenever you get a chance to watch this video, hope you are well and doing well, and may all things continue to go in the right direction for you. I want to talk about the right direction. I want to talk about Watford Football Club for a few minutes, and I promise I will be as brief as I can be. We obviously know right now, as fellow Watford fans, all of us and Watford supporters, as part of the WFC family, that we're in we're in a real bad place, obviously. Bottom two, 6 points adrift in the Premier League. And teams around us are winning games. Particularly Newcastle have done exactly what Watford need to do, which is to win two or three games in a row and start to move away from the relegation zone. That's what Newcastle have done. Now, it took Eddie Howe a couple of months to really get this together. Now, Roy Hodgson has come in at Watford, and this has been his third game in charge after the first game, Burnley, the second game, West Ham, and this one, which was a poor performance against Brighton. Of course, the next game is Aston Villa. I just want to just say, though, while there's every reason to have some doubts about Watford's performance and the ability to stay up, there is one thing to have some genuine concerns and to say, well, I think it looks very bleak and it looks dire. And it's quite another, I think, for us as fans to write off this team with 15 more games to play. It's not that they've only got one game left. It's not as if they've got two games left and they're 10 points adrift. It's not as if they are 20 points adrift with three games to play. They are 6 points adrift with 15 more games to play this season. Very winnable home games, by the way. And I can hear some fans now saying, well, there was a winnable game the other day against Brighton, and look what happened there. I understand that. There was a winnable game against Norwich last month, and look what happened there. I understand that too. The games have gone. There are now 15 more to play. Very winnable home games against Burnley, against Everton, against Leicester, against Leeds, against Crystal Palace. Those are very winnable games. Now, of course, whether Watford win them or not, we'll see. But I just am flabbergasted, quite frankly. I'll just be honest with you, fellow Watford fans. I'm flabbergasted that so many fans of this club think that they are already down. I just, or think that they're going down. I really, again, I know that the situation is dire. I'm not going to sit here and think that it's not. Listen, I'm the same person who for months has been telling you, I think they're going to finish 11th. And I'm not going to back away from that until they don't. I'm not going to back away from that. From June of last year, June 2021, I'd been saying that I think this team is going to finish mid-table. Now, of course, at this moment, that's laughable to think that that's going to happen. But there are 15 games, not five, not four, but 15. 15 games. This is not by no means over as far as I'm concerned. Now, again, it seems to me the vast majority of Watford's fan base have already written off the rest of the season and that Watford are going down. That's what a lot of people on social media are saying. Now, I don't know how many people beyond social media are saying this or who believe it, but my goodness me, really? I don't know, quite frankly, whether the players at Watford, and we can criticize them all we want. I've certainly done that, and so have you, I'm sure. But I don't know, and I'm not so sure that the players would want us to be supporting them if we have an attitude right now with 15 games to play that they are going down. I don't think they'd want our support if that's what we were going to do. If we were going to say to these players, you lot are going down at the end of the season, you're done, with 15 games left, I really don't know that they would want our support anyhow. I've had a lot of criticism about the board this season, as you have you. A number of Watford fans have said that they are completely disconnected and alienated from this club. And I feel that this is a really serious thing that the board must address. The board have not communicated sufficiently with Watford fans. And I don't think that they can use the pandemic as an excuse. There are other ways to communicate to fans. If you've had a show called Inside the Hive for the last few weeks and months, you can certainly use Inside the Hive to have a senior board member or the owner, which probably won't happen, but have someone like Scott Duxbury get on the program and address Watford fans. No reason why that can't happen. When you hear, and I don't have any reason to doubt the sincerity of these fans who say that they feel disconnected from Watford FC. I have no reason to doubt that. And if you hear fans saying that on social media, you should pay attention to that. That's pretty darn serious. But I really would like for Watford fans to have a little bit more faith. Some of the fans who have already written this team off and their chances of staying in the Premier League off, have a little bit more faith, please. I know you've probably seen this movie before and you felt, look, there's no way. The way they played the first 23 games, no chance. There's every chance, by the way, that they can stay up. I think they're going to stay up. And I know that there's a great many Watford fans out there in the world who think they will and have confidence in them and at least will back them and have some optimism. And I get it. There is definitely a thin line between pessimism and realism and fatalism. There is a thin line running through each of those. The lines blur with each of those entities. And for me, I think it's difficult to figure out where some Watford fans are in that continuum. Maybe they are all three of those things. And it's not to say that these fans who express this view that Watford are down, it's not to say that they're going to be wrong. They may well turn out to be right at the end of the season. But would you bet your house on Watford Football Club being relegated at the end of the season with 15 games to play? Would you make that bet now? Would you bet your house? Would you turn over your house keys and put them on the line and ante up and say that this team's going down with 15 games left? Would you be prepared to bet your house on this? I do wonder about the negativity. And there are some fans who are fed up of the negativity. There are some fans who embrace the negativity. And there are some fans who say, you know what? This is the reality of where this club is. The board hasn't done this. The board hasn't done that. And as a result, the board are to blame. And maybe they are to blame. I think they are, by the way. But let's not completely write Watford FC off. Roy Hodgson's been there for 3 games. There are obvious weaknesses in this team. There's no question about it. No question about it. But I don't believe that this is over. Now, I could turn out to be wrong. As I said just a few moments ago, the fans who have been overwhelming numbers saying that this team is going down, they may turn out to be correct. They may turn out to be correct. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think they're going down. I could turn out to be wrong. But either way, there shouldn't be this feeding frenzy of I told you so in terms of if they go down. Is that really the kind of climate that we need? The board needs to be held to account no matter what happens at the end of this season. And I think if we are Watford fans, and we are, if we're Watford supporters, and we are, if we care about the club, and we all clearly do, can we also just get behind these lads, please? I think that despite their poor performances in a lot of these games, at the very least, we should stand with them and get behind them instead of throwing them in the garbage, throwing them in the rubbish with 15 games yet to play. I just think that is incredibly, well, there's so many adjectives you can use to describe that. And some of the people I know who have said this people that I actually think are reasonable people, that I just am absolutely floored by this notion that 15 games away from the finish line, you've already thrown it away. You've already thought that they're done. And your opinion and my opinion are valued. I just really am at a loss to find out where there is confidence in fans. There's got to be some. Don't you have any confidence at all in this team? I know they've played terribly. They've shown that they can win games. We've seen that at Everton. We've seen it against Manchester United. We've seen it in other games. These guys can win games. The question is, the players have to get it done. Obviously, the onus is on the players. But what I am just really stunned by is just how many people really think that this is over right now with 15 games left. Now, with 2 or 3 games left, I can completely see that. 15 games? Again, with winnable contests against Burnley. These are all the home games. Burnley, Leicester, Leeds, Everton, Crystal Palace. I really don't. I mean, really, we're gonna. Wow, I'm just speechless actually. But look, I can completely understand why Watford fans who feel this way about the club in terms of thinking that they're going down. I understand why they think that way based upon obviously these 23 games that have gone. But we can't give up now. We can't be oh ye of little faith now. We've got to get involved and get behind these lads. Again, if they heard these kinds of things, I don't know that they'd want our support because we're so negative, some of us. I'm not advocating pie of the sky, detachment from reality. The reality is that things right now are very difficult. But we have almost half a season left. Half a season almost, 15 games. That's almost half a season. And with Roy Hodgson and Ray Lewington, I think we can get this done. What do you think?